Will Josh Emmett's knockout power prove too much for Lerone Murphy? Or is the undefeated rising star ready to take his place among the featherweight elite? Josh Emmett's return after 15 months. Josh Emmett is making his long-awaited return to the octagon after a 15-month hiatus, last competing in December 2023, when he delivered a spectacular knockout of Bryce Mitchell at UFC 296. That victory was a highlight reel moment in his career, but it came after a difficult year where he suffered back-to-back losses to Ilia Topuria and Yair Rodriguez. The Rodriguez fight was for the interim featherweight title, but Emmett struggled against the dynamic striking and submission skills of the Mexican star, losing via a second-round submission. His fight with Topuria also ended in a dominant decision loss, raising questions about whether he could still compete at the highest level. At 39 years old, Emmett is one of the oldest contenders in the featherweight division and has dealt with multiple injuries throughout his career, including knee surgeries, facial fractures, and a hip injury. Despite these setbacks, his power remains a major threat, as seen in his devastating knockouts of Michael Johnson, Mirsad Bektic, and Ricardo Lamas. This fight against Lerone Murphy will be crucial in determining whether Emmett still belongs among the elite featherweights or if the younger generation is ready to surpass him. A win for Emmett could re-establish him as a title contender, while a loss may push him further away from the championship picture, making this a pivotal fight in his career. Lerone Murphy's undefeated streak. Lerone Murphy enters this fight with an impressive undefeated record of 15-0-1, 7-0-1 in the UFC, making him one of the fastest rising contenders in the featherweight division. At 33 years old, he is in his prime and has been steadily climbing the rankings, most recently defeating Dan Ige at UFC 308 in October 2023. That one solidified his position in the top 15 and showcased his well-rounded skill set, including sharp striking, excellent footwork, and strong defensive grappling. Murphy's journey to the UFC is remarkable. In 2013, he survived a near-fatal shooting in Manchester, where he was hit multiple times, but miraculously recovered. Since then, he has remained unbeaten in professional MMA, demonstrating resilience both inside and outside the cage. Despite his success, Murphy has yet to face a fighter ranked as high as Josh Emmett, number 6 in the rankings. This fight presents a massive opportunity for him to break into the top 10 and prove he belongs among the elite featherweights. A win over a dangerous knockout artist like Emmett would be his biggest statement yet and could move him closer to title contention. High-stakes main event. This fight will serve as the main event of UFC on ESPN 65. Taking place on April 5th at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. As a 5-round bout, it gives both fighters more time to showcase their skills and test their endurance, which could play a significant role in the outcome. For Josh Emmett, this main event is a chance to re-establish himself as a top contender after a long layoff. Given his history of explosive knockouts, he will likely look to make a statement with another highlight reel finish. However, at 39, his ability to go 5 hard rounds, especially against a younger, fresher opponent, will be a key question. For Lerone Murphy, this is his first UFC main event, marking a major milestone in his career. The UFC is giving him a high-profile opportunity, signaling that they see him as a potential future star. If he delivers a strong performance, it could catapult him into bigger fights, possibly against top 5 opponents or even title contention. The UFC Apex venue also plays a role in the fight dynamics. With a smaller octagon than standard arenas, the cage size encourages more engagements and less movement, which could benefit Emmett's power-based fighting style. However, Murphy's striking defense and counterpunching ability will be tested in this environment. With both fighters having so much on the line, Emmett trying to stay relevant in the division and Murphy looking to break into the elite, this fight has major implications for the UFC featherweight rankings and future title contenders. Clash of styles and power. This fight presents an intriguing contrast in fighting styles, with Josh Emmett bringing explosive knockout power and a wrestling background, while Lerone Murphy relies on technical striking, footwork, and defensive awareness. Josh Emmett's style. Known for his one-punch knockout power, Emmett has put away multiple opponents with his devastating right hand. His wrestling base allows him to dictate the pace, but he rarely uses it offensively, preferring to stand and trade. He is aggressive and looks for openings to land heavy shots, often relying on counterpunches or explosive bursts of offense. His cardio has been inconsistent, especially in 5-round fights, where he tends to fade in the later rounds. Lerone Murphy style. Murphy is a well-rounded fighter with a technical approach to striking. His ability to move in and out of range makes him difficult to hit cleanly. He has a sharp jab, strong counterpunching skills, and excellent defensive awareness, making him a frustrating opponent for power punchers. While he is primarily a striker, he has also shown solid takedown defense and the ability to scramble when needed. His ability to maintain a steady pace over 5 rounds could be a key factor if he can avoid early damage. This matchup will likely come down to whether Murphy can stay disciplined and avoid Emmett's knockout shots, or if Emmett can close the distance and land his power punches. If Murphy can use his movement and technique to wear Emmett down, he has a strong chance of winning a decision. However, if Emmett finds an opening early, his fight-ending power could make all the difference. Potential title implications. This fight carries significant implications for the UFC featherweight division, as both fighters are looking to climb the rankings and move closer to title contention. For Josh Emmett, number 6 ranked featherweight, a win would keep him in the top 10 and prove that, despite his age and injuries, he is still a dangerous contender. If he delivers a dominant performance, he could earn another big fight, potentially against a top 5 opponent like Brian Ortega or Arnold Allen. However, loss, especially to a lower-ranked opponent like Murphy, would likely push him further away from the title picture and could signal the end of his run as a top contender. For Lerone Murphy, number 12 ranked featherweight, a win over Emmett would be the biggest of his career and would likely catapult him into the top 10. If he dominates or finishes Emmett, he could make a strong case for fighting a top 5 opponent next, possibly putting him just 1 or 2 wins away from a title shot. A loss wouldn't be as devastating, but it would slow his momentum and force him to work his way back up the rankings. With Alexander Volkanovski's reign nearing its final stages and new contenders emerging, the featherweight division is wide open. A statement win here could position either fighter for a future title eliminator, making this a high-risk, high-reward matchup.